So the Integra joined our line about 6 months ago, replacing an Acura ILX, and we've been having a bunch of fun on this car for about the last 6 months. And my name is Mike, and I got joining me today. Welcome to AXC Garage. If you guys are new to the channel, definitely hit the subscribe button and also turn that notification. Now today we'll be talking about the top 5 modification or upgrades for our 2023 Integra, and I'm also going to include the 11th gen Honda Civic Si as well.
Yeah, it pretty much carries over, so.
I think it's fair enough for us to include it because most of the items include the engine and interior and
suspension.
And the suspension.
Yeah. Other than the struts.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, the suspension is the same. I think the shock is different.
The shock is different, yeah.
So, we're gonna walk you through what is the top 5 for me and for him. Obviously, we have different choices. Everybody, obviously like different things, and we'll be talking about that today. But before we do that, we want to go over what we have done the last 6 months. We already have about 7 episodes, and to start off, we have episode number 1, and actually got a lot of traction on social media. Includes some really big accounts like Super Street and Motor Trend. We went ahead and dynoed the car with Hobby Tune, and we got 197 horsepower and 200 foot-pound of torque.
Yeah, that was pretty impressive, because it dynoed more than advertised, which is nice. And not to mention, I personally, I don't have a lot of experience with the 1.5 turbo, the L15, because it's new to the Acura lineup. I know it's been in the Honda line and the CR-V, the Accord, Civic. It's been out for a while, but us at Acura, it's a new drivetrain for us, and I didn't really know how it was going to perform. 1.5 liter. That's smaller than a B16. Yeah. That's like a D series size,
Absolutely.
And all of our cars have the 2-liter turbos, but in reality, those are decent numbers. Yeah. That's my LS VTEC. Barely made that much horsepower in my Integra.
And because it's turbocharged, it makes so much more torque.
So that definitely, that kind of shot us out there a little bit. Some good recognition for the car in general.
Absolutely.
And
I think a lot of people were shocked.
Yeah, people were shocked. And it's interesting to see, a company can advertise whatever they want, but to put the wheels to the ground and actually
true number.
It's nice to see. And once again, dynos are not all the same. Is it the same kind of dyno Honda used? Is it the same dyno? Is the weather different? All those variables come into play. But that night, it was hot.
It was super hot.
And humid. And, and we did it. And that's what it was. But either way, it was definitely a very cool way to kick off the experience with the car and our channel. So.
Talk about that. We move on to episode number 2. John actually spent a few $1,000 on factory OEM accessories. Yeah,
though the good thing was for me on that avenue is when I traded in my other lease, my RDX A-Spec, with how the market was at the time with all the supply and demand for the cars, I was able to get back some money from that. And I was able to put that money, instead of putting it into my lease and lowering my payment, I put it into the accessories. And I bought the accessories, and like Mike said, it was about $3,000 or so worth of accessories.
Can you even name some of the accessories that you
I can name every one of them.
Let's go ahead.
We have our illuminated emblem in the front. I have the carbon fiber mirror caps, carbon fiber wing, the side add-ons for the rocker panels, the rear diffuser, the all-weather mats, front and rear, and the seat back ones, the A projectors that go under the door. What else do I have? Am I missing something?
No, you put it actually
I think that's everything,
I'm
right?
very proud of you.
Well, I've spent the money on it, so
yeah,
I remember.
there you go. It still hurt a little bit, right?
A little bit. I could buy some nice wheels for my other cars for that much money.
Move on to episode number 3. We were able to get a set of eye-box spring borrowed from a 10th gen Honda Civic Si, lowering the car about 1.7 inch all around, along with a set of Mugen MDC wheels with a set of Continental tires. Then we also got another set of wheels from Vossen XChat 5 in gloss black, but unfortunately the offset is so aggressive and we got the wrong tires, and that didn't work out for us. Yeah,
we had to go ahead and we reached out to Vossen, who put us in touch with Nitto, and Nitto sent us a set of tires to put on there. We initially had two 55s the Continentals on the Mugans, excuse me, I almost said it wrong, I apologize.
Man, we
I don't want to insult anyone,
yeah.
you know. Those are 245s, and then I had to go ahead and do 235s because the Vauxens are a 32 offset. Once again, those wheels were not made for the car. They are a wheel that they offer off the shelf. So talking to Vauxen and them over there, they said they'd probably be happier with a 38 or maybe even a 40 offset, but that to have the fitment just right. But overall, I think the Mugans with the Continental Extreme Contact.
And the drop.
Oh yeah, so the drop, you know, I kind of just shot in the dark. I reached out to Eibach before I even ordered the springs and said, hey, are you doing anything for the 11th Gen SI? And they said, we have something in R&D, but it's not ready to be released. And I just kind of shot in the dark, and I talked to Mike. I'm like, I'm going to go for it. We have no idea if it's going to work, but you know, everything else in the suspension crossed over to the FK7 Civic Sport hatchback. So we just gave a shot, and it worked good. It maybe lowered a little bit more than advertised. I don't know. You know, it advertised the 1.7. I think it's a solid 2-inch drop. Yeah.
100%. So that was an awesome upgrade for us.
Oh yeah, visually beautiful.
Absolutely. So moving on to episode this is number 4 now.
Number 4.
PRL Performance Package. John, can you name those items?
Oh yeah. So we have the billet intercooler, which is beautiful. We did do the stencil on it.
Love that.
You know, we had another guy come in, the other customer come in, who bought one. He got it black, and he did the stencil in white. I thought that was a pretty cool contrast.
Sent me photos.
Yeah, it was very cool. Neat. And then we had their charge pipe kit. At the time, I don't know if it's available now, it probably is, their high volume intake.
Not yet.
It's still not available?
Yeah.
So that's on the car, no one has it. We also did the PRL lower engine mount, which that thing is very, very nice. And
I'm gonna help you.
The downpipe and front pipe.
There you go.
Yeah. Catted downpipe, because once again, our entire goal for this car, and me too, seeing as this is my lease, is that I want to do whatever makes the car perform better, but doesn't compromise like a check engine light or, you know, any issues. I don't want to hurt the motor. I don't want to have to do a attempt to have the car repaired because I hurt it. You know, the whole idea is to enjoy the car.
Absolutely.
And tune it, you know,
Yeah.
so.
And one last thing I want to add on to it, which is their OG style front strut bar.
Yeah, the strut bar.
Has a very nice touch to the engine bay.
It has. Most of the other ones that the other companies offer, and I think PRL offer it too, it's like a tubular style one.
Yeah.
This one looks like a 98 Type R style aluminum strut bar. Very nice, I like that.
So moving on to episode number 5, we have a solution, which is the tires that John mentioned. We got a set of Nettles tires, NT 555,
Yes.
235, 35, 19, full of Boston wheels. So we got that solution there.
Yeah, they work good. The offset looks very nice on the car. It fills
no
all
rub,
that
no
gap.
nothing.
Yeah, and very surprised. We didn't have to add camber. This car still has no camber kit on it. It is the natural camber from the factory, which you can put the the 10th gen Civic camber kit. It will work, but you know, right now the car is fine. I don't see any need for it.
Same episode, we did a full Mugen exhaust system.
Ooh.
And then we finished off with a Koyo's radiator.
Yeah, that Mugen exhaust there, Mugen exhaust, excuse me again, I don't know what's right. It's
Shout out to Scott from K Motorsport,
yes.
Thank you.
So it's funny because I remember sending Mike text messages in the middle of the night saying, hey, in New Zealand they released the catalog for the car and I think this exhaust might work on the car. You know, maybe it's something we could do. And I know Mike's got a pretty good relationship with Scott at King Motorsports.
Yeah.
And he reached out to him, and would you believe this? He's like, well, I happen to have one right here. So we made that happen. Need be, the exhaust is for a Civic RS in Japan. So in Japan, the bumper supports and bumpers are a little bit shorter.
Yeah.
So we had a little bit issue with the tip not coming out far enough, which I was able to resolve that with a friend very
I don't think
easily.
we mentioned that on our
No one really
previous
knows
episode.
that, yeah.
So we're gonna have more content coming for this Integra. And on the next episode, we'll show you guys a little bit more and what we have done. And it came out perfect. You
It came
can't
out
tell.
great. It came out great, and you know, and it was minimal effort too.
Yeah.
So for it to, honestly, I think it's the only one in the United States on one of these cars.
I think so too.
It's pretty cool. The radiator. Now that's one thing on my trip up north and a lot of aggressive hard driving. My temperatures were crazy low, and I was super happy about that. That was a beautiful.
Oh, and the Dragon, Tail of the Dragon.
Tail of the Dragon, yeah, up there. That was when I tell you I pushed that car. I don't think I could have driven it any harder than I did, and it performed great.
Yeah.
Nothing failed, nothing gave up on me, and all I wanted was more horsepower, though.
Yeah. We'll move on to the next episode. We'll get to that. Next episode, we went ahead and put on a complete action clutch kit along with hybrid racing shifter cable, bushing,
Yes.
D10 springs, and also PRL stainless steel clutch line.
Yeah. So when we put all of our mods on, we started turning the boost up on the car with, we're a little ahead of that, but we did have the KTuner on there, and I was starting to get a little bit of clutch slip at one point or another. Not horrible, just a little bit, and we decided that was the moment to start reaching out to companies and see what people had to offer us. And Action reached out and they gave us an option. They went out of their way to make sure it was a solid option. It was a complete clutch kit, chrome moly flywheel, a little bit lighter than stock, but not their aluminum one.
Right.
Because we wanted to save our drivability.
I think it's like 20% weight savings.
Yeah, 20% weight savings, and very nice balance set up on it. And it's a full face carbon Kevlar clutch setup with a upgrade pressure plate. And I think we reused the stock release bearing just because it was such low mileage. I think we did. Yeah, we figured it just didn't make sense.
We greased it and we put everything
put it right
together.
back on. And the D10 spring, that feel is nice.
How about the shifter bushing?
The shifter bushings, you know, together with the D10 springs, I can't tell which one made the difference, but the combination together was nice. Totally different feel, because anything you upgrade with your shifter, it's something you have to touch every single time you drive the car, so I really like upgrades there.
Yeah. So with the most recent episode, we went back to the dyno. Now we have a KTuner and also a variable tune. So we started off with a base tune with nothing on it, just the way it is with the add-on. Then we installed the KTuner Stage 2. Then we move on to the variable, and variable tune, we're able to get just about 230 horsepower and 270 foot-pound of torque, and that's pretty impressive.
Oh yeah, I mean, I think it was 278. It was almost 280, right?
Something like
that. Something on it. You can check back and see. I'm sure there'll be something up with it on there.
I think I'm right, though. I think I'm right.
You're probably right. I'm always wrong. Mike built this car all by himself too. I just watched him.
That's what I do.
But it was definitely the nice part.
Let's get back in the meat and potatoes, right?
Yes.
The core of the video is the top 5 modification or upgrades for our Integra and also for the Civic. Now, because John's the owner and he's been behind the wheels for the last 6 months and also 10,000 miles.
10,000 miles in 6 months.
I'm gonna have him go first. So, what is your number 5?
All right, so as me and you were discussing this a little bit before, I'm a junkie for the performance stuff. I know you're a little bit more on the cosmetic, which I love the cosmetic part too, but on this car, not that the car didn't come with a lot of power, it's just you could feel the power band flatten out where they pull the boost back. And for me, I say the performance mods were my favorite. So I'm gonna go with the suspension as my number 5.
Number 5, okay.
Because it gave me the look, but the feel didn't change a whole lot on it, but it was more of a look. I don't think lowering it changed a lot. It changed the body roll a little bit, but, so that's my number 5 is the iBox springs.
Talk to me, number 4.
Number 4 is gonna be the wheel setup. That is not just for the look for me, some of the look, I love the Mugen MDCs, but it's the Continental Contact Extreme tires. Those tires performed like no other tire I've had. I mean, I have Pirellis on the NSX, those handle really good, but I never pushed the NSX hard. I pushed this car hard, no matter how fast and hard I went into turns, it never understeered. It just hooked, went, gone.
You know, the best test was the Tail of the Dragon.
Tail of the Dragon, yeah.
How many turns it was again? Was it
300 and David would know.
Jesus, I can't believe I forget that. You
Yeah.
probably went through the mountain like, what, 3-4 times? I went through 1 time.
And that was only one of the places I went, because me and David and the rest of our group, we spent the whole week up there driving all over the place.
You guys interested, we'll go ahead and put a link up there, and also down in the description. That was a very nice trip.
Oh yeah, that beautiful trip, beautiful scenery, and they host it right before the winter comes, so the weather is just nice before it gets out of control.
Yeah,
so what
definitely
are we at,
give
number
a shout
3?
out to Classic Honda on the Dragon.
Oh, yeah,
they definitely did really well and hosted an awesome meet, and also gather everybody together. It's a lot of work, believe it or not, and a lot of people wouldn't know how much it takes, but we know because we host a lot of car meets and gathering and things like that. It takes a lot.
It does. It takes a lot, and it's a lot of coordination. And you know, they went above and beyond. They even made programs for the thing. You know, it was really cool. Stickers that are specific for each year.
Plate.
The license plate. Yeah, they
really
do a lot. They went out of their way, and you know, it showed. And they were very happy to have the turnout that they did. A lot of people showed up. LHT came from South Florida. Honda Pro Jason came through. You know, it was definitely a good show out. And the thing is, what I really appreciate is we don't get a lot of first gen CRXs and EA hatches.
Oh yeah.
The torsion bar cars, there were so many and they were so beautiful, and I just don't really know a whole lot about them.
Yeah.
But up there, beautiful turnout. For
one thing I love about that meet is I would say maybe 85% of people are from 3 to 5 hours away. I mean, we're from South Florida. We probably one of. What do you think?
It was 13 hours.
I noticed there are a few folks from Ohio and also from Texas. So people from all over the place and all gathered in one place. I think that is super neat.
Different personalities, different styles, but all the same love of our cars and our passion for the cars. And that's the thing. That's what we always try and do with AHC. And, you know, and it shows. And that's one thing I said when I was up there. It's like, what you guys did is exactly what we're doing in South Florida, and it's beautiful to see.
You know, the funny thing about that, so many people recognize that, and we really appreciate that you guys always tuning in every Saturday at noontime. But man, so many of you come up and give us like, man, give me a hug, man. I always see you every Saturday,
it's
man.
Cool.
It's so
cool. And the fact that we're so far from home, and there's people out there that appreciate what we're doing in our free time, you know, and it's cool. You know, we see people around here at our meets, but we're local. But to go that far away and still see that passion for what we're doing, that's awesome.
You really feel good, man. Really feel good about that. So moving on, number 3. What is your number 3?
So I'm going to go with the Downpipe at number 3. I really love the sound. Now, believe it or not, the Mugen exhaust is quieter than the stock exhaust. It has a monster resonator on it. Mugen has always been like a factory accessory, so they will change the tone, but it's not going to make it loud.
Right.
And the factory exhaust has smaller resonators, and you hear more pops and gurgles. But when I had the Downpipe on the stock exhaust, man, that thing, I really like that sound. It sounds great on the Mugen exhaust too, but I would have to say the Downpipe and the front pipe, that was one of my favorite things. That's going to come in at number 3.
Okay, so what's number 2?
Number 2 is going to be the, I've been going back and forth. I know I went over some of this, but it's kind of changing the more I think about it.
We had a pre-meeting before the actual,
and now I've had more time to weigh it too. And I think I have to say I really like the clutch. Because before I was a little apprehensive about getting on the car. Now with the clutch, knowing that it's not going to slip.
Confident.
I can do it. I can get on the car. Not that I'm beating on it unnecessarily, but I can floor it and feel the boost come in. Before I was driving it in normal mode, because in sport mode it would slip. So now I can drive the car at its potential without worry of that. So that I really like.
Well, last but not least, what is your number 1 recommendation?
You got to get the tune. You got to get the tune.
Okay.
I mean, it changes the power band. Even if you don't go with the variable tune, which I recommend it because the torque curve is totally different on
everything.
it. Yeah. But even the KTuner map that comes with it, there's like 12 maps on there and for different things. It doesn't, you don't have to go all out and do the 23 PSI tune on it, and they'll tell you recommend clutch replacement before you upload it. They're not lying.
Yeah.
But you know, they have different tunes for different levels of your mods, and I just feel like most cars come restricted from the factory. Yes, they do. They are there for reliability, fuel emissions, and all those different things, and fuel economy. You know, the tune takes some of that out of it. You know, it does have the potential to affect the warranty on your car, and is not okay to hurt your car and have it tuned.
I appreciate that you mentioned that, because that's always been a question about tunes and all that. I mean, the manufacturers do not like you put tune on the car.
No, they don't.
Yet we are doing it. We are taking a risk.
And
our own risk, I should say.
But the other thing too is, and this is a thing that people ask me a lot, especially with this car, is they say, did I avoid my warranty? You know, if you have an engine problem with your car and you bring it in and it's modified, you're probably not going to be covered under warranty. But if your speaker goes out and your car is modified, it's probably not going to affect that portion of your warranty claim, because you didn't modify that part of the car. But then again, you know, every dealership's a little different in how they handle that stuff, and it's always really not up to the dealership. It's up to the Honda, the manufacturer. And we try and walk that line. What am I doing to the car right now? I'm voiding my warranty as we go. But you know, I'm taking that risk, and that's why I'm also keeping the modifications. We're keeping the modifications tight. You know,
I want to mention something too. One of the key things that we're doing here, we are not trying to chase the number. Like, we are not trying to get all the power. We want good, reliable power. So the tune that we have, it is a safe tune. You know, the fuel mix ratios is good. Everything else is good. So we're not chasing the number. I know later on we might do a few extra thing, but guys, we are not trying to get 300-400 horsepower out of this 1.5 liter.
I think the thing we're most looking to get out of it is a clean power band.
Yes.
You know, we want it to feel torquey. We want it to feel responsive. Those are the things we're looking for out of it. Like I said, if I wanted to build a race car, this thing would be a Type R. It wouldn't be an Integra. But it's the Integra, and it's luxury, it's comfortable. I put 10,000 miles on it. My roommate drives the car whenever he wants to go somewhere. I want to go to Orlando, we hop in this. This car drives great. It has the ADS, so if for your suspension, it can be stiff, it can be soft. It has lane keep assist. It has adaptive cruise control, heads-up display. It's a car that's made for driving.
All the modern features.
Everything. And I'll tell you this, a standard option that I've come to love in this car is the radio. Infotainment system, hands down, one of my favorite things in the car, especially after driving a bunch of FK8s. And that sound system is always like, you know, this thing's nice.
Nice surround sound. Well, there you have it, guys. That's John's top 5. And now I'm going to give you my little 2 cents. I'm going to give you my top 5 as well. So starting off, number 5, I'm more of a cosmetic guy, right? So don't blame me on that. And that's one
you like
cool
performance too, though.
I do, but I think if you give me a choice, I like cosmetic stuff better. And again, that's one thing I love. I think I mentioned that before about, you know, modifying, upgrading the car, because everybody's so different. Everybody has their own taste. We can personalize it the way we want it. So number 5 for me, it will be OEM factory accessories. Now, I know I'm supposed to pick one item, but I'm gonna cheat here a little bit.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna mention 2 items. So the first item might be a little controversial. People might say a little ricey, but I didn't really care for it at the beginning because of those factors, but it really grew on me, is that lighted emblem up in the front.
I mean, it turned off on us.
Yeah, it actually did. I love the lighted emblem up in the front. It definitely grew on me. I didn't care for it too much before because I was too concerned about being too ricey out there. But it looked really, really neat in the dark.
It's not too bright either, you know?
It's perfect.
Yeah, I like it.
I love that. So the second one that I want to recommend is the carbon fiber deckless spoiler. I mean, who can say no to carbon fiber?
I like not just that it's carbon fiber, but it has that.
The new contour. It really changes the entire look on the back. So that's my number 5, illuminated front emblem or the carbon fiber deckless spoiler. Now, I'm not saying I don't like the other accessories, but those are the two I like the most.
All right, nice.
So moving on, number 4, I'm gonna go with the Mugen exhaust.
Yes.
The funny thing about that, John does not know my list.
No, I don't know your list.
I know his list, but you did change it up on
I'm
me.
learning right now.
You did change
I
it up
changed
on
a couple things. Just at the end there was I just, you know.
Yeah, which is good, right? So Mugen exhaust I like because it looks awesome and it sounds great.
It does.
Not so much of a performance exhaust because
it's style though.
The style is beautiful,
and
man.
It's chromed
it looks
out.
so good, and its fitment is beautiful. Again, not so much for performance. I mean, the piping is probably like 2 1/4.
Yeah, I think it's smaller than the factory.
Yeah, and I hope maybe in the future they make something a little bigger, maybe 2 1/2. And one of the other things too, John mentioned the exhaust. Obviously, it's not designed for this car here. It's a little bit shorter than what it is. I really just want to throw it out there, but we're able to extend it, and it looks great and it sounds great. So that's my number 4.
Okay.
Moving on, number 3. I kind of have a change of heart too. Number 3 is the KTuner.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Again, John touched on that. It could be a warranty issues, but if you just going to stick with, the basic tune or the variable, I think you'll be just fine.
Yeah.
Don't quote us on that. Do it in your own discretion.
Yeah, we can't. Our word is not gold on that one.
But I always look at the dollar you spend and horsepower or torque you're going to gain.
Oh
right?
yeah. On a turbo car.
Exactly. The
huge.
KTuner is about $450, which already come with a bunch of presets tuned, and you gain just about 20 horsepower and
a ton of torque.
I think 60 foot-pound of torque.
Yeah.
So for $450, that is a lot of power for the money.
Bang for the buck right there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And you want to step it up. I think Faribault has special right now for I think $180. You can get even more power and also torque for just $180 from Faribault. So that is an amazing deal.
Watch your clutch on that one. That's all I have to say. Because
that
torque
one,
is what causes the slippage.
Definitely on especially on third gear when you going in it.
And if the RPMs aren't up high, like if you build into the boost, when the boost comes in, woo!
That's the fun part. So move on, number 2.
Number 2.
My favorite and a lot of guys' favorite, especially Honda guys, lowering the car. So iBox spring, I think, is the way to go. I know it's not designed for the Integra or the 11th Gen Civic. We got it from the 10th Gen Civic, but it fit well and it drives great. It's very comfortable.
I don't mean to interrupt, but iBox came out with a specific spring for the car now.
Absolutely.
Yes. Is it the Integra and 11th Gen?
Both Integra and Civic.
Yeah. So it's for both platforms, and it's a Pro kit, not the Sport. The Sport is the one that dumps it. The Pro kit. It's like a 1 3 and 1 inch drop.
Yeah, so 1 3 and 1. So iBox, I would imagine it's the opposite. Like Sportline would be the one.
It's always backwards, right? Yeah.
So the Pro is the one that's a little less, and then the Sport are the one. The Sportline is the one that's a little bit more aggressive. But
I call it the dump one. It dumps it.
That's what you have now.
Yeah.
So yeah, they do make a spring for it, 1 3 and 1 inch in the back, very similar to the Pro kit for the 10th Gen.
Yeah. There's one thing I wanted to mention about that, because I had a couple people reached out to me through Instagram and Facebook, and they were inquiring that they put those same springs on the car, and they started to get a little bit of noise when they turned the wheel back and forth. And I did some research.
What spring? These springs.
These springs.
The 10th
Gen.
the
10th Gen springs. And I did a little research looking at that. It's a pretty common thing because you're taking load off of the tension on the upper strut hat. And I've retorqued them, and I've gone through it a few times. So just in all fair disclosure, there's a possibility when you lower the car to have a little bit of creaking, if you will, when you turn the wheel.
Is it coming from the upper bearing?
The upper bearing, yeah. And I hope something comes out for it. Maybe there'll be a different kind of top hat setup or something along those lines, or maybe someone will come out with a nice coilover setup for it that utilizes the ADS, or at least has a canceling device so you don't get a light. But nevertheless, the springs are very nice. So what number was that for me?
That was, I don't know.
Was that 4?
I think it was one of those numbers. But hey, it's number 2 for me.
Number 2.
Number 1 for me will be the PRL high volume intake.
Yes. Beautiful.
I love the sound, for an affordable price at $400 is everything bolts right on. Looks almost like an OEM intake box. and it sounds so good.
And it links up to the factory intake scoop on the hood, like everything. Beautiful.
So that's my number one. I mean, for $400, that would be my first mod.
Yeah.
Turbo car, you can hear the turbo sound. Oh man, that is super awesome.
It is, and without doing a bypass or a divert valve, you know?
Well guys, there you have it. So you heard John and you heard myself, our top 5 recommended modification or upgrades for the 23 Integra and also the 11 Gen
Civic Si.
22 Honda Civic Si.
Yeah, yeah.
So we do have a few more things in the pipeline for our Integra. I have a list here. We have a PRL Flex fuel system that we will be doing.
We have that in hand too. We
have it for a little while now. We just got to get back on it because we got so many different
And it's already
projects.
been revised once too, so this thing is going to be perfect.
Absolutely, and we already got the KTuner. So, and along with that, we'll be working with Faribault and also Hobby Tune and try to figure out a custom tune just for this car.
Yes, perfect. Which is if you want the proper performance for your car, not every car is the same, so it's nice to get your car tuned. It's in a significant expense. It's about $300 to $400, if not $600 to $700, depending on who you go to. Yeah. But it really dials the car in specifically to you.
And a lot of time folks don't understand, about what tuner charges, right? Like with this newer car, each flash take about 15 to 20 minutes.
Yes, and you have to drive the car in between, take it off the dyno, drive it. Yeah. Some people just want to street tune it because they don't have to.
And you're paying for the time.
Yeah.
And also, more importantly, the knowledge.
The knowledge. And if a tuner doesn't know what he's doing, it could blow your engine up. If it leans out, too much torque, this, that. You have to have a good tuner that you can depend on, or else it's going to cost you more money than the tune. So, depending on who's in your area, or you can remote tune. A lot of people do that. I know a Faribault, John, he can tune your car from wherever.
That's our goal.
Yeah, that's our goal. We're going to work with Javi, with his dyno, save us the trip over to Tampa. It's about 4 hours away.
Almost.
But, so, that's definitely in the works.
We got also some PRL shifter, boot, and also some carbon fiber pieces that you got.
Yeah, a couple companies I found on Etsy.
Yeah.
They made a carbon fiber overlay for where it's all gloss black around the shifter. I picked up some things. There's also another company out there which I've been trying to talk to, but they haven't responded back to me. They do the pieces on the door where the window switches are, and around the steering wheel too.
Yeah.
Yeah, more carbon.
And last but not least, we also have the hybrid racing shifter box bushing too as well.
Yeah, so they're aluminum pieces that replace the rubber shifter box mounts to, I guess, give it a little bit more firmer feel.
Well, so those are items that we have on hand. I'm pretty sure we're gonna have more stuff coming in. So the next episode should be coming up very, very soon. Along with that, we're obviously gonna see some footage back on the dyno.
Yes, we're definitely going to be back on the dyno. The nice thing is the weather is getting cooler, hopefully. I mean, it's not cold now where the rest of the country it's snowing.
Cooler weather for us is low in the high 60 and high in the low 80s.
Yeah. And just so you guys have a time frame, tomorrow's Thanksgiving right now. I'm not sure when the video is going to come out.
This video will probably come out a few weeks after that. But yeah, the weather's getting better. So I think we're going to get some good numbers. And again, we're not chasing a number. We just want to get some good, reliable number. Yeah. And I think we got 2 great tuners going to be working together. I think it'll be fantastic.
It's an awesome thing. They know each other. They work together well. There's no competition. So
it's all love.
Yeah, all love, man. Honda love all day long.
The last thing that I want to talk about before we end this videos, let's talk about wish list.
Wish list. And you guys feel free to put your wishes in the links below, in the comments below.
Comment section. Hey, listen, I do want to mention that, John. We've been doing this YouTube thing for about, 3 years now?
Yeah.
Actively the past 2 years. I kind of want you guys to give us a little bit more feedback, what we're doing right and what we are not doing right.
Yeah, you want to criticize us.
We okay
just not
with
my looks, because that's already perfect. You know what I mean?
No comment on that one. But we definitely want all good and bad comments,
Yeah.
or whatever that you think we can do better, you think we do a decent job, hey man, comment below and let us know, and that's the only way we can do better.
Let's just be nice, because I have feelings, you know?
John, wish list. Give me like 3 to 4 items.
All right, I know one I've been bothering you about because, listen, it's a turbo car. I want to hear the blow-off valve more. The PRL intake does a job, you hear it. I want a blow-off valve. I've seen it. I know PRL does not recommend it. There is no horsepower. In fact, it can change your fuel curve. I know it, guys. I read your link. I know. But there's something about hearing that noise. I love it. I want a blow-off valve. I see there's one. I think Turbo Smart or one of these companies make it.
Well, Patrick and Spencer, you guys are watching these videos. You know, Christmas right around the corner. Maybe we should have Santa fulfill John's wish list there.
I'll buy it for myself.
What else do you have, John?
So I am really looking for, you mentioned it, I'm looking forward to the Retune and the Flex Fuel. That's me personally, but one thing I really want sway bars. And I saw Eibach has them out.
Oh yeah.
But they're specific, not specific, they're FK7, but I think everything's gonna work.
No, they have one now.
Oh, they do?
For the 11th Gen Civic Si.
Oh yeah.
And also for the Integra now, it's out now.
Yeah.
Also camber kits.
Oh yeah, that's my next thing, because where I can criticize the performance of the cars, it's heavy, you know, which all new modern cars are.
Yeah.
And when I was getting into the turns, and when you turn it, it doesn't roll a lot, but you feel it roll, and then it sets.
Yeah.
I feel like on my other cars where I have sway bars, it rolls, and then I can kind of pull out of it. I'm really interested in sway bars, so that's blow-off valve, sway bars.
One more?
Oh yeah.
What's that?
I want a 3-inch dual exhaust. We've been talking about that one a lot.
That one might be coming.
Yeah, that's something I hope PRL has something in the works.
They do.
Yeah, they do.
You know the cool thing about us, like we have like 2-3 set of wheels, 2-3 set of exhausts that we can switch in and out. Man, how can we get better than that?
It's not, I mean, you can't. I mean, I'll be honest with you, it's exactly what I did on my DA.
Yeah.
I V-banded the rear section so I could change my muffler.
You want it out or you want quieter?
Or 5 or 6 different sets of wheels for the car too.
They're always good. So that's John's list.
Yeah.
I got my list here. I got 5 items. So I'm gonna start it off with, a lot of people was talking about it, a front lip.
Front lip would be really cool. I saw some stuff that came out for SEMA. I wasn't totally, it was kind of a little bit plain. I thought maybe a little bit more contour to it, but front lip, definitely, especially with all the additional side skirts. I think something gloss black.
Well, with my taste, I'm hoping.
I like the Type S, like TLX Type S kind of look.
Yeah.
You know, that
like
flat
diffuser.
Flat diffuser that kind of like,
One of the main things for me is, guys, it has to be bolt on. I don't want to start drilling holes or cell tapping screws.
No.
Make brackets and stuff that I can just bolt it on. So, hey, when I sell the car, I don't have, you know, or lease return, I don't, you know, have to, oh man, I got to turn this in. I'm going to get penalized.
Yeah, and they do. They'll penalize you. There's a threshold, but it's short.
And I feel bad about drilling holes on a bumper.
Yeah. I mean, it is a brand new $37,000 car.
If not more.
If not more.
So that's that. The next item, John just touched on it, a larger diameter exhaust system.
Yeah, because
make a little bit more noise. Not that Mugen's not good, but I think
it's not performance based.
With the stuff that we have, we just need a little bit more.
And I think that'll allow the turbo to spool a little bit earlier, because it has a little bit later spool than I would like to. That was, I'm gonna throw that one in there too.
Yeah.
If I can get the turbo to spool faster.
Next one, I kind of hate the factory look. I hate even to say that, but turbo inlet pipe.
Oh, the one across the top of the,
yes. I know PRL is going to make a titanium version of that, and that really going to set that off.
So that's similar to the one they offer on the FK8, right?
FK8, man.
Yeah, that thing is beautiful. We recently saw one, maybe installed it on a project car.
Something
very
you'll
nice.
see in a very near future.
Oh yeah, beautiful work there. I mean, not to mention that one it's kind of like oval and black.
It's a killer.
It's nice.
It's a killer.
There,
you want some polish, you know, some titanium color.
Give me metal.
Yeah, that looked nice. So I got 2 more items, and we're gonna let you guys go on your day. Big brake kit.
Big brake kit.
So the good thing is the Type S Integra should be coming out, and based on what we have seen so far, it will have a brembo brake system.
Ooh, from what I've seen, from what I saw in the spy pictures, it looks like very similar to the FL5 without the wide body.
But I tell you what though, even though it's all covered up, the front bumper and the rear bumper is so much more aggressive.
And totally different.
And then the 3 outlet in the back, just like the FL5 or FK8, man.
I like it.
And I think the big brake kit, just like the TLX Type S to the regular 2-liter turbo model, you're gonna swap directly over. So I think it's gonna be an amazing upgrade for the regular model Integra.
I just don't know if it's gonna go from 5x114 to 5x120. That may be the thing. That's what we're gonna have to see. We have no idea what we're getting yet. It is coming, 100%.
First quarter of next year.
Yeah, we're getting a Type S, and you know, this car is not going away anytime soon. I'm gonna ride the lease out. We were talking about that the other day too. So
be responsible.
You know, I'm gonna say one other thing I forgot from before. I upgraded the brake lines on this and the brake fluid.
Oh yeah, we did.
You know,
right before the Dragon.
that was a huge upgrade. I just remembered it now. That was one of my.
And the brake fluid.
Yeah, the Motul brake fluid.
Yeah.
That car, the thing I was most nervous about, now that you bring up the brake kit, was cooking the brakes, because it's a heavy car going into the turns, where with FK8s with big brake kits and STIs, big brake kits, and you know, even with just the fluid and the brake lines, this thing never had brake fade, it never overheated, it braked good. But with a big brake kit, you would have all that confidence in it.
You know, with a big brake kit, I want to give a shout out to Nick at his channel, Also Sick. He has a 11th gen Honda Civic Si that they install FK7 6-piston spoon calipers.
You know, we discussed that.
We did.
On this car, it's just a financial commitment I'm not willing to make right now. I'm gonna be on. Mike has a saying to me. He says I'm cheap, and I will agree. I am as cheap as I can.
Stay that way.
I will. I'm gonna stay that way.
But definitely want to give a shout out to Nick, and he also did a PRL turbo upgrades and unfortunate thing.
What's his channel? Do you know the name of his channel?
Also Sick. Yeah, I'll go and put the link down in the descriptions. Really cool channel. I've been really following him for a little while now, but the unfortunate thing, something happened on the track, and I think it probably put a hole in the block.
Yeah, you know, listen, you have to, this is again, I don't know as far as his tuning goes or anything like that, and I'm not trying to say nothing, I don't know. Mike's followed it closer than me.
Yeah.
These motors have a history on how they perform.
Yeah.
And there's thresholds, and when you push that threshold and you're learning, things fail. You just have to be willing to accept that when you go past the already known. He went into the unknown.
Yeah.
You know, and sometimes that's what happens. So.
And, you know, with the PRL upgrade, I think he got 325 or 330 horsepower.
But it didn't even fail with that turbo. That turbo came off. Right?
He took it off, right? And he went to the track, and maybe like 30 seconds into the track, and the motor blew up with a stock turbo.
Yeah.
So, from what I'm understanding from the video, he heard it with the upgraded turbo.
Oh, okay.
Again, you can go with upgraded turbo. It's not the turbo is not the issues.
No.
If you're gonna do that, upgrade the internals.
Yeah.
Put rods,
Well,
maybe some forced piston.
Yeah, you know, and here's the other thing too, is upgrading a turbo doesn't always have to be for more horsepower.
Yeah.
It can change your power band. It can bring the spool down. It can, you know, different wheels, different styles.
Absolutely.
Remember TJ did it with his, he had his one turbo rebuilt and it spooled a little bit faster.
Yeah, different wheels.
So, you know, there's different reasons for changing your turbo. It's not always peak horsepower. So.
Yeah, so again, it's a lot of art involved when it comes to modifying a car. I think if you just want something reliable, stick with the bolt-on. I think you can't go wrong with it. It's such a fun car. I do get to drive this car every so often. John,
you should drive it more.
Absolutely. He put 10,000 miles on it in probably 6 months, if not less. And I'm pretty sure he can convince all of you that he enjoyed every single one of those miles.
Yeah, every one of them I put on. I enjoyed it. I'll tell you that. And, you know, and so I can say that I don't really have a point on it that like, there's no problem with it. There's nothing I get in the car and go like, I wish it didn't do that.
Yeah.
I wish it didn't do that. It's great. You know, the only thing I wish it had was a home link to open up the garage door at home.
Oh,
That's the only thing.
we will make another videos what we do like and
Yeah.
what we wish it has or what
Yeah.
we don't like.
Ooh, I like that.
About the Integra. Maybe we should make that video. Comment below. Let us know what you think. One of the things that I think the car should have, I think you mentioned that before, not in these videos, but on our own time, is a boost gauge.
Yes, it's to me, it's a little weird that it doesn't have it in the factory setup because the Civic has it,
Yeah.
and
Most of the cars.
all of our cars have it.
They all have it.
I don't know why this one doesn't have a boost gauge in it. So I actually went ahead and I put a AM OBD2 port
Yeah.
gauge in there, but then again, it doesn't really tell me the boost specifically. It's in
Yeah.
some kind of weird thing, but you know, either way, I have it on my air fuel ratio. But
Hopefully,
you know.
an aftermarket company can come with something neat that is
Yeah.
integrated, maybe like an AC vent, something like that. I think I saw something from Dream Automotive for the FKA.
They have it, yeah.
They have one that built up on the
driver's side,
or
yeah,
our
it's nice.
driver's side.
Yeah.
AC vent. That would look really neat.
I'd like that.
Maybe we should do that on David's car.
David's been talking to me about it.
Yeah.
Maybe that's a Christmas present.
Well, yeah,
I
he
hope it's
doesn't-
not too expensive.
Well, he doesn't want to pay, so maybe that's going to be his Christmas present.
I won't get him anything else cheap.
Well, the last thing on my wish list, and I'm always been a sucker for those wheels. It's gonna be wheels, John. So
Okay. You
it's
know
gonna
I'm about that life.
It's gonna be on your path there. I saw it on an FL5, and I think it's gonna look great on this.
Spoon wheels?
No,
No?
I love those too. Don't get
Yeah.
me wrong. T37.
Oh, you're talking about Tommy's car, aren't you?
I'm gonna go down to 18.
Yes.
That's the look for me, I think.
So is that 18 by 9 or 9.5?
Well, I don't know the fitment because this fitment isn't the
Yeah.
same as FKA.
FKA, yeah.
So
well, they're
to-
running like 265s
To
on
be
those.
safe would be 18 by,
What
I don't know, 8.5.
8.5. That's what these are,
Maybe
right?
9, because
Yeah.
you don't want too much camber. But
If it's 9, then you have to bring your offset and it'd be in the 40s.
yeah, but then again, you know, the fitment, I don't
Yeah.
know. I don't know. We have not explored that, but I think TE.
What color?
look really nice. 2 colors, bronze, dark bronze,
Okay.
or for some odd reason we did on Williams' car, pressed graphite. People don't care for the colors though.
Yeah.
I think it look really neat.
They have a couple new colors out too. That
Gloss
gray.
black look really nice too.
That gray that they came out with is really nice too. Have you seen that new gray?
No.
They have a new gray. It's kind of like
Like a dark
almost
gray?
It's a light gray. It's almost like the FK8 gray.
Oh,
What's that gray called? I forget what it's
man,
called.
Sonic.
Sonic, yeah, Supersonic gray.
Yeah.
And or Sonic gray.
Yeah.
And then they also have that new blue, which I'm not too big of a fan of. You
Yeah.
were showing it to me. It's a little bit
a little
light.
loud. It's a little
Yeah.
loud. It's a little loud.
So, but I mean, it's not like yellow wheels on a yellow car. So.
Oh, God. Shout out to David real quick there. But guys, this is it for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. You guys are new to the channel. Definitely consider to subscribe to the channel and also turn the notification. And don't forget, we have a social media page, both Facebook and Instagram at Acura Honda Classic. We post all the latest stuff right on there on a story and a regular post. Definitely go on there. And we'll wrap this video up. My name is Mike, and I got John right over there. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you guys next week.